Hi friends, it's Amy. Welcome to my channel. Today, I had the opportunity to go to my library book sale for the first time in a year. So I have a wonderful haul to share with you today. So let's get to it. First of all, I want to share something else that I got today. These are the glasses that I have been using since, I don't know, a really long time. It's embarrassing how long I've been wearing these glasses, and I needed to go to the eye doctor, and I did that today, and I got some new glasses. They're going to take so much getting used to, and I kind of like them. So if you don't like them, don't tell me. Okay, thanks. Most of the books that I got at the library book sale, while I was waiting for these to be done, are for my classroom. When I go to book sales like this, I look for books in the series that I've been trying to accumulate. I look for authors that my students and I have liked. I look for books that I have already read and enjoyed, but I got them from the library, so I would like to have them in my classroom. And I also look for replacement books, because in a classroom, you're always going to have books that disappear. One book that is a replacement, the only book in this pile that's a replacement, is Soul Surfer by Bethany Hamilton. This is the true story of faith, family, and fighting to get back on the board. This is about a surfer who is at least 20 years ago, was surfing one morning and she was attacked by a shark and she lost her arm. And it talks about how she was able to get back into surfing. I have shared this with several classes in the past, and I have actually wanted to pick it up and use it as a read aloud, and I haven't been able to find it. So I was really excited to see a nice copy at the book sale so that I can keep sharing this with my students again. Next is a book that is part of a series that I try to pick up when I see it, and that is Big Nate Lives It Up by Lincoln Pierce. These books are, there's two different series. One is completely comics, completely graphic novel, and one is more of the narrative with comics interspersed and pictures interspersed, a la Diary of a Wimpy Kid. And my students like the comics more, but both of them are kind of hard to find sometimes. So I was able to find this one. I wasn't able to find any of the comic ones, but I don't have this one in my classroom, so it'll be a nice addition. This one is a book that I read and I wanted a copy in my classroom, and that is Finding Langston by Lesa Cline-Ransome. This is about a young boy named Langston who moves to Chicago from Alabama during the Great Migration, and he finds out about Langston Hughes, the poet, and how different it is living up north during this time than it was living in the South at the same time. It's a beautiful story. I really enjoyed it. I read it this March during middle grade March, and on the recommendation of Katie at Life Between Words. And I was really excited to find it at the sale. So that's Finding Langston by Lesa Cline-Ransome. This is an author by. This is The Same Stuff as Stars by Katherine Paterson. Katherine Paterson is the author of A Bridge to Terabithia, which is a book that I really do enjoy sharing with my students. A lot of my students have read Bridge to Terabithia, love it, even though it makes them cry. And so when I saw this, I decided to pick it up. This is about Angel Morgan, whose family is falling apart. Her daddy is in jail, and her mother has abandoned Angel and her little brother Bernie at their great-grandmother's crumbling Vermont farmhouse. Grandma spends most of her time wrapped in a blanket by the wood stove. So life's about to get real. This is a series continuation. This is Ashes by Laura Halse Anderson. This is part of the Seeds of America trilogy that starts with Chains and then Forage and now Ashes. I have Chains and I have now Ashes. I do not have Forge. So when I go back to the book sale, I will definitely be looking to get that one as well. This is an author by. This is The Great Unexpected by Sharon Creech. I've said it before, when I see books by Sharon Creech, I look to pick them up because I really respect Sharon Creech as an author. She's very diverse in the types of writing that she does. She has novels in verse, she has prose, and she just has a lot of different styles that she works with. So I saw this and decided to get it. This is about, in the little town of Blackbird Tree lived two orphan girls, one Naomi Dean, brimming with curiosity, and her best friend Lizzie Scatterdine, who could talk the ears off a cornfield. I love puns like that. Naomi has a knack for being around when trouble happens, for she knows all the peculiar people in town, like Crazy Cora and Witch Wiggins and Mr. Farley. But then one day a boy drops out of a tree, the strangely charming Finn boy. Sounds very unexpected. Next, this is a book that I read and enjoyed. This is The Dreamers by Pam Muñoz Ryan and Peter Sis. Pam Muñoz Ryan is the author of Echo, and I have said before, Echo is wonderful on audio. This I also consumed on audio, but I also got the physical copy from the library because this has beautiful illustrations that really help enhance the story. So it's definitely one, but it's a mixed media. There's different things going on. It's definitely one that you want to have the physical copy in front of you when you read, but it's a really, really beautiful story. This is the fictionalized account of the life of the poet Pablo Neruda's, and it's just a really beautiful story. So I'm excited to have this in my classroom. This is also a book that I have read before and wanted in my classroom. This is Kira Kira by Cynthia Kadohata. This is a Newbery Medal winner, and I really try when I find Newbery Medal books to get copies to go into my classroom. This is about a family of Japanese Americans who move from Iowa to the deep south in Georgia, and they have to deal with a lot of challenges in doing that. On the back it says, "My uncle was exactly 1 inch taller than my father, but his stomach was soft. We knew this because we hit him in it once the year before, and he yelped in pain and threatened to spank us. We got sent to bed without supper because my parents said hitting someone was the worst thing you could do. Stealing was second and lying was third. Before I turned 12, I would have committed all 3 of these crimes." It's a really beautiful story. It's been a very long time since I've read it, but I remember really enjoying it. This is this next one is a series continuation. This is the Mother-Daughter Book Club, Pies and Prejudice by Heather Vogel Frederick. This is a series that I am slowly trying to get all of the volumes in my classroom. It is wonderfully and delightfully bookish, and I've had a few students that have shown interest in reading more from this one. This is a continuation of a series as well that I thought I had the whole series, but then it turns out that there is not actually 4 books. There are 5. This is The Fever Code by James Dashner. This is part of the Maze Runner series. This is a prequel, so it talks about what happened before the maze was created in the Fever Code. So I saw this, realized that it was not that I did not have a complete collection and decided I better go ahead and grab it. So I did. This is actually the start of a series that I have heard wonderful things about. So I wanted to get it into my students' hand, and that is the Penderwicks. This is the first book in the series, the Penderwicks, and then I think this might be the third book. This is the Penderwicks at Point Mouette. And the Penderwicks is apparently a wonderful family series about a family called the Penderwicks. It comes highly recommended by Krista from Books and Jams and a ton of other people, and including some of my former students. So I felt like I should probably have this series or parts of this series at least in my classroom. So we're going to work out, I'll be working on getting all of the volumes of this series as I go. And the last book for my classroom is Keeper of the Lost Cities by Shannon Messenger. This book I've heard a lot about, and I've heard a lot of mixed reviews. Some people really love it, and some people have DNF'd it. But I figured, why not pick it up for $1 and see if it's something that my students might like. So I did pick it up when I saw it. Then I got 3 books for me. This first one is The Care and Feeding of Ravenously Hungry Girls. I don't, for the life of me, remember where I heard about this book, but it has been on my TBR for a good couple of months at least. I want to say it was the Currently Reading podcast, but I'm not sure. And so it is a cross between The Mothers and American Marriage. This dazzling debut novel about mothers and daughters, identity and family, and how the relationships that sustain you can also be the ones that consume you. So I thought that would be a good one for me to pick up, especially since it has been on my TBR for a while. And then I picked up Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. This is about Eleanor Oliphant, who struggles with appropriate social skills and tends to say exactly what she's thinking. Nothing is missing in her carefully timetabled life, where weekends mostly consist of frozen pizza, vodka, and phone chats with Mummy. But everything changes when Eleanor meets Raymond, the bumbling IT guy from her office, whose big heart will ultimately help Eleanor find the way to repair her own profoundly damaged one. I have heard really good things about the mental health rep in this book, and I am excited to have it on my shelves. And then the last book that I got is an author by, and this is Land of 100 Wonders by Lesley Kagen. And Lesley Kagen is an author that I discovered last year because I was looking for an author from Wisconsin. And Lesley Kagen is a Wisconsin author. And I read her book, Whistling in the Dark, that takes place in Wisconsin. This one does not. This is about Gibby McGraw, who is due for a big break. Brain damaged after a tragic car accident that took both her parents, Gibby is now NQR, not quite right, a real challenge for a fledgling newspaper reporter, especially when she stumbles upon the dead body of the next governor of Kentucky, Buster Malloy. So it sounds like a really good mystery. Whistling in the Dark was a really great mystery as well. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to because I'd never heard of it before. And I am excited to dig into this one. So there you have it. I have these 3 for my personal library. And then I have all of these. I don't think I'm going to be able to get all of these. I might. I did it. All of these for my classroom library. So I would say it was a pretty successful trip to the library book sale today. Did you see anything you like? Have you read any of these that I haven't read before? What did you think? Are they worth having in my classroom, having in my personal library? Let me know down in the comments, and I will talk to you later. Happy reading. Bye.